smart like that.
Well, good. Well, it looks like our audio levels are all good to go here on the first Tuesday show of 2022. Welcome, everybody. Long time no see. Haven't seen. I'm not going to do that joke. I haven't seen you in a year.
Last year.
I haven't seen. It's the dumbest. It's the worst. But you know it's not the worst? The Tuesday show. We're back together. We're back to it. It's going to be a great time today. Cammy, how are you doing? How's your new year treating you so far?
Been fine. Bit anxious, but nothing major. Just normal levels of.
Cat. There's a cat.
There's a cat. Just normal levels. What about you?
Yeah, same here. I didn't really do anything too crazy this year. For New Year's, I just kind of kicked back, had a Merry Christmas, had a fun New Year's, and yeah, just sort of did my thing. Nothing too crazy, just relaxing. We're at that point in our lives where holiday times is mostly just times to relax, hang out with your family a little bit, maybe play some video games. Are there any games you jumped into over our little break we had, Ms. Cammy?
Yeah, so I played all of Mario Odyssey,
Good. I like Mario
which I
Odyssey.
enjoyed, and I've just started Octopath Traveler. I say I've just started. I'm like 6 hours in, but when it's like a big JRPG, 6 hours is like nothing. But I'm really enjoying it so far. It's real pretty. What about you?
Oh, well, I love both those games. I have not gotten far into Octopath Traveler, but Mario Odyssey I've beaten like 4 times. As for me, as for games I'm playing, a whole lot of Bully. I'm playing a good amount of that. I did like a little bit of Dead Space 3, which has been fun. I know Dead Space fans don't like 3 as much, but I enjoy it. It's the first one I played of those games, so that's good fun. But yeah, that and Bully, some older games like Freedom Fighters and whatnot. Just kicking back with some classics, relaxing, doing my thing. But yeah, should be all good. There's no, I don't think anything enormous came out games wise right before we went into break. Last year we had like Cyberpunk, which is like everyone's gonna be playing Cyberpunk this Christmas season.
They were not.
This year we had Guardians of the Galaxy, that game everyone's playing. Have you played Guardians of the Galaxy, Cammy?
I have not. I've heard good things, but I haven't got around to it. And it might sound bad, but I really can't be bothered to pay for it.
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
just
I'm
don't
just
care.
waiting for it to be free.
It's going to wind up.
Oh,
It's going to come to some service at some point, and people are going to play it, and they're going to be like, "Holy crap, this is amazing!" I'm sure that's what's going to happen. Because I've also heard tremendous things about it. But who knows for sure? Who knows the way games go? So many great ones get tossed aside. So many terrible ones get given awards by Steam for stupid reasons. I won't go into any more than that because it's a new year. We got to trash on new things. We got to talk about new things. And I saw a couple of new things. A couple of new things I was waiting to see. A couple of
okay.
old 80s action movies. The other night, I decided 2 nights in a row to do RoboCop followed by The Terminator. So those first two movies. Have you seen either of those?
No. To my boyfriend's great disappointment, I
They
haven't.
are like I'm not exaggerating. Terminator is cool. Terminator is really cool
Mm.
and great. I don't have a whole lot to say about Terminator, but
Hmm.
RoboCop is just it's the fucking best. It is
Okay.
so much fun. It's goofy and serious at the same time. It's just the perfect kind of like 80s action movie. Like it's got a bunch of gore, it's got a bunch of it's just the best. I think I love RoboCop. I cannot believe I hadn't seen that yet. That blew me away how good that movie was.
Tell you one thing I watched over Christmas
What was that?
was season 2 of The Witcher.
Aha, very good.
Have you seen it yet?
No, I'm waiting. I'm going through the books right now. So I kind of took a
Okay,
break
that's
on the
fine.
TV show cuz I was like,
Yeah, that's
I should
fair.
see what the books have to say first. because I heard some mixed things about the new season. I heard it was good, but I heard some.
Mhm.
I'm sure I'll have it watched by like next week though. So stay tuned for that, everybody, because I
Yeah.
have been
I think
craving The Witcher.
what I will say is, how far into the books are you?
I'm only into like halfway through the second one.
Okay. You know how the first two are like short stories
Yeah,
that are kind of like they're kind of interwoven together, not on the monitors, kind of interwoven together, but mostly they're like independent stories.
right,
And the first season of The Witcher was very much like that. Each episode, like obviously you have the crossover of Yennefer and Geralt and Ciri and what they're all doing, but each episode kind of had its own thing going on. And I think a lot of people really liked that, and it was a big like, oh, all these independent stories that are really well crafted and really well written, and at the end you're like, oh, and it all links up, incredible. But season two is much more like the rest of the books in the series, which aren't short stories, they're just novels. So
right.
like season two was much more, maybe apart from episode one, it was much more like we're telling one story over several episodes. Um, I'm guessing that's the biggest difference I noticed. I saw a lot of people were either like season two's way more confusing. Some people said season two wasn't as confusing. Season two was a bit more political. Like I think if you
Uh,
don't know who Dijkstra and if you don't understand the different kings and um Nilfgaard, Redania, all those things, I think that's where people were maybe getting a little confused. Because I'll be honest, the series didn't do a great job of explaining it. It's only because I've played the games that I could kind of be like, oh, I know who's
yeah.
against who and whatever. So I still thought it was good. Don't think quite as good as season one, but I still like had a fun time with it.
Well, good. No, yeah, season one is pretty hard to top because that really is just the best of
That
those
was
short
really,
stories.
really good. Yeah. Whereas if I were to explain it, it's kind of like season one, they were like, okay, we're trying to start a new big franchise. Let's pick the best of the best short stories that are really impressive, are really going to grab people's attention. They did that, they did it wonderfully. And then in season two, it was like, okay, we've got something here. We have an audience, we have more cash, people are on our sides. Now we're going to actually set up the story of The Witcher. So it feels almost like more like a season one did, without being too spoilery. It's like a lot of introductions and introducing things that well, we know because we've played the games, read the books and whatnot. We know they're going to be more important down the line
Right.
rather than just really, really great short stories. It was like, yeah, it felt like season one was a this is how good this can be if you give us a chance. Season two is like, okay, you gave us a chance, so now we're gonna set up the big, the big shit. So that's my
Yeah.
non-spoiler take on it.
That was an excellent take because I got exactly what you were
Thank
talking
you.
about. Yeah, not every series can start out because Witcher's one of those special ones where there's a lot of subject matter and there's a lot of stuff going on. So I definitely prefer the here's a bunch of short stories and then leading into okay, now you see that going into it. But I was thinking the whole time I was like the shows that are able to kick off like immediately like have a 9 episode arc that's fantastic and interesting like Arcane for instance where they just smash it out of the park like you get everything so quickly and it just gives it to you. That's when I think like stuff is at its best. And I don't want to say The Witcher's like they found a way to do it with their source material, which I thought was neat. But I do still have like immense respect for shows that are able to kick it off and explain everything so easily. Because that's bringing it back to those '80s movies. That's what made those movies so fun. It's like quick exposition when you needed it, and then it's just the rest. You let the rest of the stuff
Then it just
speak for
runs.
itself. But yeah, that's what tied that all together.
That was really good.
Look at that. We're already
I
like
was
twice as
not down.
efficient.
That's the end of the show.
That's
We did
it.
it.
We'll
Bye.
we'll see you all later. But truth be told, I've been on a heavy bender, a heavy goddamn bender to just looking into all the Bully 2 and stuff going on with Bully in those leaks because I adore Bully. I think it's a wonderfully fun game. It's a little outdated from time to time, and it's a little because you've never played Bully, I don't think.
I played it, but we're talking about years and years ago. I barely remember it. Like the things I do remember were like sitting in class and taking lessons and walking around the campus. Like I don't remember much more than that. So
Yeah, it's basic Rockstar stuff, but with a lot more.
yeah,
They just gave you so many options on like how to explore and have a good time. And it's an interesting setting, interesting story. It's all cramped down, and of course, it's from like 2008 or whatever. So some of the humor is a bit outdated, but that's true of all the pretty much all of Rockstar stuff. Like all that GTA stuff, you go back and look at some of it, it's like, wow, that's really outdated. But that's about all you can say about it. So I'd love an update of it, but I'm scared now that they're gonna do a remaster because that makes way more sense than a sequel at this point in time. Especially if you want to make a sequel, you probably want to gauge the want for it with a remaster. But that's the thing. The one we have right now on Steam, the Scholarship Edition or whatever, isn't half
yeah,
bad. It looks fine. I think it runs fine. It's best way to play that game. I think it's great fun. I think if they were to do like a remaster, like in the similar style of those GTA trilogy remasters, except they release it so it's not broken,
yeah.
that would be key. I'd really like that.
Mm.
I mean, that'd be neat, but I just don't know how you pull people back into Bully without updating it because it's a gem of its time and it's going to be
Yeah,
really you should let that
yeah.
speak for itself. Maybe do a re-release of the Scholarship Edition for like put it on sale and be like to lead into Bully 2 with that. But there's stuff in Bully that when you remaster it, like I would expect them to take some of the stuff out. I mean, it's a game about children beating each other up, and you're able to like it's always been teetering on the edge there a little bit. But I don't know. I just don't see. I see people getting really pissy about it. People that haven't played the game before that didn't play
But
it back
yeah,
then.
yeah. Not understanding the humor and being PC about it all.
Yeah, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
I get what they're saying. I get
Oh
that.
God, yeah. I'm not saying that they're wrong to be calling those things out as inappropriate nowadays. But it just that's what makes it so tricky is that you're dealing with a big change in society and culture, and how do you translate that in a game that was
That was
well,
put. It was pushing the
yeah,
envelope at the time. Like it was being
when yeah,
edgy when they made it, and now you
back
look back at it, and
then.
it's like, whoa, there's some stuff in there, and it's not the worst. It's not the
Oh,
worst I've seen from the past, but it is like it's clearly from that time period, and I know there's gonna be people out there that don't understand that and then just explode about it, and then that just hurts. That's why I think you have to go for a sequel. That's just my thoughts on it. That's of course I have no we have no power
you have
in
no
those
insight.
business
Completely
decisions.
guessing, completely.
But I don't know. I'd love to see
I
it.
think I think they're more likely to do if they're going to do a sequel of something. I think they're more likely to do LA Noir.
I don't know. Development on LA Noir was so insane. Like the stories about LA Noir and how terrible that went. I don't know if people would be if it would be like a spiritual successor. I don't think people would ever want to work on a sequel to LA Noir.
Maybe. I just think of all the like Red Dead, they're not going to touch that for a while, I don't think. GTA 6 is just a dream nowadays. I don't think it's real. I think it's a myth and a legend. One day, maybe it'll be released 30 years' time. but it'll be a subscription service or something ridiculous like that. Bully, we've already talked about. So, I mean, off the top of my head, then all you really have is LA Noire. And that's, you could do a lot more with that now because of all the facial capture and stuff. You could get it way more detailed. It's not
Yeah.
like strictly to its time period. Like, no one's going to go, oh, you can't talk about those things anymore. How dare you? Because it's, you know, it's a period piece anyway. But I get what you're saying. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll do something new. Maybe they'll do something totally new and surprise us all.
I'd be cool with that too. I just want something.
Yeah.
I want a smaller scale Rockstar something because they've proven they can do those big, massive, crazy games, and I would love just a little side project from New England, from that one in England, from whatever old England where you're hanging out.
Rockstar North.
I forget what it's
Rockstar
called.
North, I think it's called. 'Cause
No, there's North, and I know New England's one of them. I don't know if they renamed, but they
I
worked
think
on Bully.
there's one in Scotland, and I think that's Rockstar North, but I could be
Okay.
totally wrong.
Who knows? There's a
It'd
lot
be nice,
of
yeah.
pieces in that machine.
It'd be nice if they did, if not a smaller game, then some DLC. DLC for Red Dead 2 would be pretty nice.
You know what? I think the key here is literally anything. Give
Yeah.
us something that doesn't
Anything
fucking suck because
that's not a new re-release of GTA 5.
I'm so sick of it. And yeah, I'm sick of GTA 5. That remaster was embarrassing. It's just and Rockstar has a good couple of things under their belt that they could put to use. And like speaking to the same, imagine using that technology from LA Noire, because I don't know
Yeah,
what
that's
happened to that studio. I think that studio closed, but they have to have they have to have something in that area. I don't even know what would happen to that equipment or that setup or like how that would work because I think that studio originally was in like Australia. Don't quote me on any of this, anybody. But that development was a mess. I would not be surprised if they like sold everything off and were just like, fuck it, back to traditional game design. And then they or traditional game design back to what we were doing before.
the mainstream of the time.
Yeah. But I don't know. That'd be really cool to see that step in the right direction. It'd be like Tron. It's like how I'm a strong believer that there should be a new Tron movie every 30 years. Because because Tron Legacy is still breathtaking. It looks amazing. It's a feat of visual effects. The first Tron was a feat of visual effects. In 2030, 2040, I want a new Tron movie. It can be the exact same storyline with the different people playing them, and just make it a showcase of all those visual effects and what you're able to pull off. Because Tron Legacy might not be like the greatest story ever, but it is one of the most beautiful movies I think I've ever seen. I love that movie. Thumbs up.
Well, alrighty then.
But I want to see
Okay.
I want to see that with video games.
I want to see it again. There's a lot of video games coming out this year though. I was looking at it earlier. Hopefully all the 2022 releases. Obviously things can definitely be delayed. But this year's a big year, man.
It's going to be, if everything that's listed to come out comes out in 2022. If we get Arkham Knights, which I believe is 2022 now,
Yep.
Suicide Squad, Starfield, Ragnarok,
Yep.
Horizon
Elden
Forbidden West,
Ring.
Elden Ring, which is coming out here pretty soon.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's ones we're forgetting. There's going to be Cyberpunk
Oh,
updates
loads.
that we're getting. 1.5
Yeah.
supposed to come out in 2022.
DLC is supposed to come out in 2022.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe they can get if Cyberpunk could become playable again. People are jumping into that. Like, imagine that. That's what I'm waiting for. Once Cyberpunk is playable, I will happily eat my words and enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it ever will be, but yeah.
But we'll see. But hey, if it winds up not being, fuck it. We got 30 other games coming out. 30 massive studio games, not to even mention the indie people that are going to be putting out cool stuff.
Yep.
Breath of the Wild 2 coming from Nintendo.
Hopefully. That's one of the ones that I think is more touch and go because we don't even really have an official title, do we?
No. It'll probably be. I really hope they don't call it Breath of the Wild 2 because that's stupid.
Mm.
They should call it Majora's Mask because they haven't done that yet. That's what I
That's
want
an
them to call it.
original
Yeah.
one. Where did you come up with that?
I read it in a book.
Oh, so smart.
Well, I didn't read it. I listened to it with Audible, our sponsor for today's episode. Just kidding. They did not sponsor us. But Audible, if you'd
Yeah.
like to, come on down because I love Audible.
Please do. Because I was sorting out, this is a completely random side story. I was sorting out all the things I'm subscribed to because I'm trying to save up money to
That's right.
buy my own house. Can you imagine in this economy? I know it's a pipe dream, but let me live. So I was like looking at all my subscriptions, like, oh, do I really need this? Do I really need that? And I was looking on Audible and I was like, right, I was gifted lots of books for Christmas. So I'm going to cancel my Audible subscription just for a little bit while I read those books because, I don't need it if I'm reading books that I have in physical copies. And Audible have an option where they delay your subscription for 90 days. So you keep all your credits and stuff
Oh,
that you've
okay.
earned, but they just delay it and they're like, "Oh, things have been hectic at the moment. So this is an option for you just until things get a little bit easier. If you want to delay it for a bit, that's absolutely fine. You'll keep your credits, but makes things easier for you. So thank you, Audible, because that's so sweet.
That is a nice option to have.
It's a nice gesture.
Now, Audible, that one was free. If you want us to talk about you again, $400, 200 to each of us is all we
Yeah,
ask. We'll do it again for you. I'll do a little graphic on screen. We want our
yeah.
code to be frothing discharge. That's what I want our code to be.
Oof,
Audible.com/frothing discharge.
oof.
That'd be great. Hit us up, Amazon. I know you're busy, but give us a call. And hey, speaking of
Yeah,
busy, speaking of
yeah.
busy in video games, I've talked about this. There's a bunch of rabbit holes that go down. But one rabbit hole just got a little bit of attention from one guy. Maybe you've heard of him, Mr. Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. Is it from Bloomberg? Yeah, he's from Bloomberg. He did an article very recently on Ken Levine, the BioShock creator, and his new game. Did you read anything about that?
I didn't read it. I saw it pop up on Twitter. And I was like, oh, Jake was talking about that. And then I just didn't click on it. I think I was cuddling the cat.
Oh,
So it
fair
was a
enough.
worthwhile reason for me not to click on it.
It is, as usual with Jason Schreier stuff, that's not just stirring a pot, because Jason Schreier, as much as I love Jason Schreier, I've read his books, I like his articles, I like his writing style. The worst thing that guy does is when he's just poking the bear constantly, trying to start controversy so he can write about it, which is a journalism thing just in general. But it's annoying as shit, especially when he can go do this amazing research and interviews and give us articles like this. Because I had no idea what was going on with Ken Levine and his new game. And turns out he put it all in an article. Clearly, all signs are pointing towards development hell for that project. Something like, I think he did a little study of it, something like 7.5 years. 7.5 years it's taken to get this new Ken Levine game, and it hasn't even arrived yet. We're coming up on 8 years. Red Dead Redemption 2 took 7 years. Halo Infinite took 6 years. Like, this is a long time to wait for a new studio to kick things off and not have a game come out. But it's fascinating. It's a fascinating read. I won't read it for you here, but yeah, just if you want to read it, everybody, it's Bloomberg, Jason Schreier. It'll come up like that. One of the biggest names in gaming journalism wrote a fantastic article. But that's another one that feasibly could come in 2022. I'd prefer to see it in early 2023, but that is a long time to wait for a game. That's a very long time, because it's not even like a sequel where you're like, oh, I'm just waiting for that. If you're like, we've been waiting 10 years or something for Elder Scrolls, it's like, well, at least Bethesda Softworks is still releasing other stuff. This is a new studio, and they haven't released anything yet.
It's rough.
It's really rough. But here's hoping. Good luck to everyone on that team and Mr. Ken Levine himself. I've heard stories about that man that are just, he sounds like a crazy person. but he sounds like a crazy person with a vision, which is that defines the Kanye West in all of us. That is what I will send you all out to do today. Go be the best Kanye West you can be, because we're all a little crazy. Kanye West should sponsor McDonald's also. I stand by that.
Oh, yes. Agreed.
He's become way too posh, way too disconnected. He needs to ground himself with some ground beef and sponsor a burger. That's what I believe Kanye West should be doing. Donda was fine, but if you had the Donda meal at McDonald's, it'd be like chicken nuggets and it'd be good. Donda.
I really want it now.
You want McDonald's? McDonald's.
Well,
there you go.
There you go. Now you've put it in my mind. Yeah.
Well, shoot. I guess that's the title of the episode. Kanye West's McDonda burger.
Yeah.
Will that make any sense? If you clicked on this video and watched it without knowing what this was, and you made it this far.
Any sense. The Tuesday show that comes out on the Wednesday.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I love how we said, oh, we'd sort it out so in the new year it could actually come out on Tuesday. Are we going to bother doing that?
No.
No.
We're almost... once we get to the part where we're at... because the big milestone is going to be 50 episodes. Or the big milestone you would think would be 50 episodes, but it's actually 52 episodes. Because then we have an episode for every week of a year. That's the one I'm looking forward to. And I'm looking forward to 100, and eventually we'll get to 1,000, and we'll take down that Joker Joe Rogan once and for all. Being the top podcast in the world.
We'd be the new Rhett and Link.
Oh, God, I hope not.
Why?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Rhett and Link seem like the nicest fellas on the planet. I don't watch their content or anything, but I'll like see their thumbnails are...
Their thumbnails are kind of...
They're embarrassing sometimes. They're not as embarrassing as Matt Pat's. And keep in mind, I love Matt Pat, and I like Rhett and Link. I just don't watch him that much. But it's just that, and I've been guilty of it too. We're all guilty of it. It's just, I'm a little disconnected because I don't watch them that much. But hey, they're successful.
Yeah. The thumbnails are goofy, but those two guys have kept me sane throughout so many isolations. I hate that it's a plural. I've been through multiple isolations, and I'm like, I don't know what day of the week it is because I don't leave the house. I'll tell you what day of the week it is. I'll watch Rhett and Link, and they'll probably say it at some point. So
well, there
thanks,
you go.
Rhett and Link.
Thanks, Rhett and Link.
I'll be Rhett. You can be Link.
All right, is Link the guy with the glasses?
Yeah.
All right. All right. I don't know what their catchphrase is. Doesn't he go, "Hey, internet, it's me, your boy."
Exactly.
What is up, drama alert? That guy? That's Rhett.
I thought you said you didn't watch them, but you just quoted them.
What is up, Rhett and Link Nation? Rhett and Link here. Let's get right into the eating ketchup or whatever we do.
Ooh.
Yeah. Isn't that something they do? Don't they eat ketchup and then go, "Oh, that was bad"? Don't they eat shitty food and then complain about it? As trivial as I made that sound, those are the best kinds of videos.
Those are the best videos.
When people are getting tortured by food. In fact, maybe we'll do that one of these days. I'll cook you a real life American meal, and it'll be foul, and we'll all eat it together. I've always wanted to do that.
Subject someone to an American meal who isn't used to it.
Yeah, and just make it I'll do grits and frog legs, and what's other I'm trying to think of wacky American food that wouldn't be. I guess I'd have to Google it because it's not wacky to me. I think frog legs are wacky, but I've had frog legs a couple of times and they're really good. And grits are really good. All I can think about now is the Key and Peele sketch. Have you seen that? Have you ever watched Key and Peele?
No.
They have a sketch where they're just they go to a diner and they're both I want some home style cooking. And it's escalating between the two of them ordering completely insane things. That's the skit, and it's hilarious. So I'll watch that and I'll cook you something from that skit. Everyone go watch that Key and Peele skit so you know what I'm talking about. Am I right, America? Is this not what you wanted, America? Have I done you a great disservice, America? But yeah, that's about it for the Tuesday show this week.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy going on. I'm sure there'll be a little bit of news next week. We went over a good bit of the news and whatnot here to make up for the gaps with none of the other show. So if you have anything you want us to talk about next week, let us know. If you have any questions, we could do a little Q&A thing next week, kick off the new year. Literally anything. If you're wild, just ask like 50 questions. We'll just go through all of them. We'll sit here, ring them off nonstop, have a great time. But that's it for today. We'll see you all later. Like and subscribe to MatPat. What if Jimmy Neutron is actually Sans from Undertale? See you later, everybody. Bye-bye.